Well, this is going to be my second video on Representative Michele Bachmann of Minnesota. And she said something about a year ago, or was it 6 months? 6 months or a year ago, that was really, really stupid. And I made a video on that. It was so stupid, and I've forgotten it. I'm going to have to go back to the original video. But she is saying more incredibly stupid, wrong things again on talk radio or hate radio. I try to call it as it really is. It's hate radio. And she did an interview, what was it, a couple of days ago, on the stimulus package. Oh, and let me say right here up front, I'm declaring now the era of bipartisanship is over. It lasted about 3 weeks. I don't know. And the Republicans now are coming out. Michele Bachmann is one of them. Representative Bachmann is one of them. They're coming out and attacking. They are attacking Obama every which way. They're calling him a socialist. And he's power mad. He's going to take over the country and destroy the Constitution. And he's a community organizer. Oh my God. There's anything worse than a community organizer. That is really the worst. That's coming from a lawyer. Michele Bachmann's a lawyer, by the way. Well, now, this hyper inflated rhetoric, to me, especially using the thing power, controls of all levers of power by the Democrats and by Obama, and the socialism is going to be their buzzword for the next 3 months or something. It reminds me of what other Republican used demagoguery and fear. Yes, some of you know your American history. That would be Senator Joseph McCarthy. And actually, I could go to Wikipedia. There's a nice little summary there of, let me quote the Wikipedia article. From 1950 onward, McCarthy continued to exploit the fear of communism and to press his accusations that the government was failing to deal with communism within its ranks. McCarthy's methods also brought on the disapproval and opposition of many. Barely a month after McCarthy's Wheeling speech, that was a speech given in 1950, the term McCarthyism was coined by Washington Post cartoonist Herbert Bloch. Bloch and others used the word as a synonym for demagoguery, baseless defamation, and mudslinging. Okay, back to the interview that Representative Bachmann gave to this right-wing hate radio station. Now, there's like 5 different things that are completely wrong in that interview. Well, first she says that Acorn is under federal indictment. Acorn is not under federal indictment. Some of their temporary workers were accused of padding and fraud, and they were just to do this to make more money. And actually, Acorn is a victim. Acorn needed legitimate voter registration. They wanted increased voter registration, and they were turning in these bogus these people, these temps. Then Bachmann goes on to say about the Democrats hold every lever of power since Obama was elected, and they've controlled the entire Congress for the last 2 years. Well, it is the Democrats do not control the judiciary. The judiciary is controlled by conservatives. The Supreme Court is still 5-4, at least 5-4, controlled by conservatives. In the last 2 years, the Senate had a one-seat majority, 51-49 in favor of the Democrats. That's including, I believe, Joe Lieberman. Well, pardon my laughter. And then of course the Republicans could filibuster. All they need would be 40 votes, and that's what they've been doing. The Republicans have been filibustering for the last 2 years, and they've been effective at stopping everything that the Democrats are trying to do in the Congress, pretty much. And then, of course, George Bush could have vetoed anything that came out of Congress, and the Democrats didn't have enough to overturn it anyway. That's the handy thing about the veto. What else did she say that was wrong? She didn't even know how legislative districts. She said that Obama was going to draw the legislative districts by some strange use of the census, and he was going to do it all in the Oval Office. And the Republicans were just going to they were doomed by the monster Obama going to take over everything. Well, the problem with that is it's completely false. Congressional districts are drawn up at the state level by the state legislatures. The drawing of the congressional districts. If you live in a state, my state, and for the last 10 years has been controlled by the Republicans. The Republicans have drawn the districts. And guess what? We have lots of Republicans in safe congressional districts. And we have more Republicans in the House of Representatives. And that's largely due to how the state legislature, the Republican state legislature, drew the districts. So that thing is whole baloney. Now, what else was wrong in there? I think I pretty much covered it. Let's see. Oh, socialism. Well, we already have Medicare. They were talking about socialized medicine. We have Medicare. We have prescription drugs. We have Medicaid. We have Social Security. We have public education. Is that socialism? Under the strict definition of the Republican right-wingers, it's socialism. So we already have it. We've had it. Well, now, at the end of this video, I think I was going to do a little bit recap on Joe McCarthy. Joe McCarthy started to accuse everyone of being a communist, basically. Everyone. And when he started to accuse, he first started to accuse people in the State Department of being communist. And I don't know if that came to anything. But then McCarthy started to go into accusing the Army of harboring communists. Yeah, McCarthy started to accuse some low-level Army people, and then he started to get angry at the upper level of the Army. It was a general who had commanded forces in World War II. And World War II veterans were, respected at the very least. Very well respected. So when McCarthy started to attack this general, he started to lose his popularity. And the final straw was by the way, and these McCarthy hearings were televised live in the 1950s, and they drew a huge audience. And McCarthy started to look worse and worse and worse, and more like a bullying, wild, semi-paranoid person that he was. Okay, let me end up how the story ends. Yeah, McCarthy accuses a law clerk. At this point, he's just accusing anybody he can think of. It pops in. So he accuses a law clerk of one of the lawyers defending the Army's general or defending the Army, and that ended it right there. The lawyer for the Army said, "Leave my law clerk out of this mess. He's a young fella. I think he had a family, and they shut McCarthy up, and the crowd applauded. They moved on. Yeah, and well, the chairman moved on to other business.